Hi.
Hello. Welcome to the Divine MF podcast. I'm Richard.
And I'm Nancy.
Oh boy, it has been so long since we've been here with you all, and we have plenty to talk about.
Yes.
Needless to say. So, I kind of want to bring the microphone closer to us a little bit, but whatever. We'll see how this goes.
Yeah.
Okay, so since the last episode that aired, we have moved from Virginia to Florida.
Yes.
Bought a house.
Yes.
We drove down from Virginia to Florida with cats.
Mm-hmm. Four
cats. Bought a house here in Florida.
Actually, we bought two houses.
Had some lovely fiascos. It's another word.
Catalyst.
Yeah, fiascos. But like a word for like the event. A farce. A couple of farces with remodels. And we got married.
Yes. We got married.
All right. So we have plenty to talk about this season. And a big shift that we were wanting to implement from the previous seasons is that rather than us speaking primarily to you all, we will be speaking mostly to each other. And then in the comments, you can ask us questions or initiate a dialogue with us of stuff that you would like to see brought into the podcast. But we feel that by us dialoguing with each other, we can get a little bit more in depth with some of the topics rather than it feeling like we're sharing, yin and yang as applied to blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
This way we can sort of deep dive a bit more.
Right.
And share a bit more authentically and a bit more fully how we are experiencing yin and yang balances and nuances in our relationship.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. And I think that is how we learn, is we learn through experience.
Yes.
More so than you learn by sitting here listening to us just ramble.
Right.
And explaining our situations versus you actually watching real time how we work through stuff, which I think is super important for an awakened couple, and how they want to grow together.
Yes. So as you're listening, and if comments or questions pop up around the topic or the subject, or new questions, how do you deal as a couple? How do you deal with X? I'm having trouble with communicating in this area in my relationship. What would be some tips there? And so we can borrow that prompt and illustrate it together. Either illustrate what a dialogue might look like, or share openly how that subject applies to our relationship.
Yes.
And
I'm sure that there's not too many things we have not gone through at this point. I guess short of maybe a family member death, that's about the only thing that we've not been through yet together. But we've been through quite a few catalysts. We've been through quite a few fun times. A lot of teamwork opportunities. So I think we're pretty experienced in that regard, and love to share those experiences with you. And then, of course, if we want to learn something, then we're going to share it with you when things come up in our life.
Yes. Another new exciting addition to our life is that we are both enrolled in PhD programs.
Yes.
What is the degree you are pursuing currently?
It's a PhD in metaphysics, but specifically in conscious
centered living.
Centered living. Yes.
Nice.
And CLL.
Nice. A PhD in
CCL.
In CCL.
Yes. Consciously centered living.
Nice. A PhD in consciously centered living.
Yes.
Awesome. And I am undertaking a program in, it is a doctor of theocentric psychology. And so using a God-centered focus to self-development or couple development.
Mm-hmm.
And so we will be excited to share a lot of what we learned there and what we practice through that learning here on the podcast as well.
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very exciting.
So that's that. So that, I guess, serves as the nice 5-minute intro to the season 3 of Divine MF.
Yes.
And
happy season 3.
Happy season 3. Yes. All right. Shall we begin dialoguing?
Yeah.
Okay. So from here on out, it will be us dialoguing. So you will be here at the table with us, but we'll be mostly speaking to each other.
Yes.
They got it. I don't need to say it again.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
So, how is being married different than being not married?
Well, we have an extra sheet of paper we have to keep track of. Our marriage license.
Oh, yes.
So
it's my chores list.
Yes, yeah. But really and truly, it doesn't feel any different.
Mm-hmm.
It does not feel any different. You and I had made an arrangement to be in each other's bubbles from the get-go.
Yes.
Being married just doesn't feel any different than it did.
Right. Yeah, I agree. It doesn't feel any different. I am enjoying this standard that we set, or this baseline, that being married means we are more accountable to ourselves and our self-alignment for the marriage and for this union.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas sort of typically, and in pop culture and things, there's this idea of marriage being, oh, now we got married, so I can just kind of let loose and, I don't know, stop going to the gym and be a slob and drink milk out of the fridge.
Or be an asshole.
It's like, yeah, I can, be a total asshole because now we're married, so we're sticking it out.
Yes.
And in practice, getting married, it feels really the opposite for me, where it's, oh shit, now I'm committed to this union. Mm-hmm. I must be on my A game.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, I think that's what our vows reflected, was us with the intention of maintaining not only our own alignment for ourselves, being self-responsible, but also in that we keep the yin-yang pair, us as a unity, us as a union, at the forefront in order to be in the union. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like being on a team.
Yes.
You have to know when to not bulldoze your partner to grab the ball. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So you're keeping the team dynamics in the forefront of your mind. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times that means we let go of egos.
Right.
Gremlins will just have to stay in check. Mm-hmm. And I've actually, I agree with you. I've kind of felt like that since we got married, there is like a little watching and waiting to see if a gremlin will pop up. A little selfish gremlin, I want to do this for me or something. And I'm not talking about self-care. That I'm talking about, these things where, a gremlin can show up anywhere, in any situation, whatever the conditioning is.
Yes.
But I've just actually been watching for gremlin pop-ups.
Interesting. And watching them in yourself or watching them in us?
Either one. Either both of us, to see how we're doing.
So is it feeling like this on guard sort of vibe? Like watching out for, like staying on alert for gremlin pop-ups?
Not so much on alert. It's not like... It's more like if you hear the call of the gremlin, you go, uh-oh, gather the troops, at that point. We have to work as a team in order to work through this. I think that's pretty much the difference. It's not so much on guard. Like, I'm not scared that it's going to come up and...
Oh, the gremlin.
Oh, shit, here he goes. But yeah, I mean, I think that watching for it and being aware of it when it comes up, and then bringing it straight to the forefront right off the get-go for us both to deal with it and to both soothe it, comfort it, accept it, let it integrate back in.
Yes.
So I think it's become not only self-responsibility, but it's us responsibility.
Us responsibility. Nice. Yes. Ooh, so that self becomes plural. The first person plural.
Yeah.
We.
Yeah.
Not just I.
Yes.
I and we.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool.
Does any of that resonate with you?
Yes, I very much. I don't think that I've felt a sense of watching for the gremlin. What has it been for me? It's been mostly just sort of an enjoyment of the arriving here, particularly after the last 6 months. It's all of these shifts, both with our work, with Shared Heart Journeys, this new chapter that is unfolding, and these new programs that we're developing currently.
Yeah.
It's sort of this, okay, so now everything is in place. And so it's been this brief period of acknowledgement, acknowledging, we are here, acknowledging this view, enjoying this beautiful peak, and now preparing for climbing the next phase of the mountain.
Yes.
So for me, it's been mostly enjoying the arrival of here.
You're very good at that.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, and I learned from you around that. A little bit of my conditioning was look for the problems. And that's probably why I was just thinking about that while I'm looking for a gremlin.
Yes.
Where's that gremlin going to pop up?
Yes. Yes. She's all right, we're married. What did I really sign up for? What am I really in here for?
Yes. But see, you actually are beautiful at that. You actually don't do that. You actually go, yeah, this is a beautiful arriving. We're on another little plateau here, and we're getting ready to roll up our sleeves again, and do some more stuff to make an impact on this world.
Right.
You inspire me.
Oh. Thank you. So that's how marriage has been.
Yes.
Shall we talk about the wedding?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. So it is available for viewing here on YouTube. If you're listening on Spotify or the Apple or the Amazon Music or all of the other things, you can go onto YouTube and look up Shared Heart Journeys, and you will see Nancy and Richard's wedding ceremony. So you're welcome to watch it. We live streamed it.
Yes.
So how did we come about deciding to live stream it?
Well, I think there were many reasons that we were resonating with. Number one, it was pretty. We got engaged December 21st, and decided to do it February 3rd, which means a month and a half to get your shit together, which usually means no venues will have availability a lot of times.
Yes.
Cakes, photographers, officiants. Sometimes it can be a little bit difficult coordinating all those for an officially big wedding where you've got people that you have guests. So it was essentially the number of days that we had.
Right. What
was the most efficient way to get it out to our family without them all, forking over, $500,000 to come to a wedding.
Well, before that, really, I mean, we did have a short engagement set, but I'm not really sure why, other than there didn't seem to be a need to wait to get married.
Right.
We didn't want to have a huge
get
together.
Right.
A huge gathering. And so when the date was sort of set for early February, I actually was thinking at first, oh, perhaps we'll go to some quaint little town that's romantic, and we'll have a little weekend, a long weekend, where we go to the Justice of the Peace or whatever in that community, get married, and then enjoy the restaurant and the views and the just this quiet little quaint, just you and I getaway.
Yes.
And then come back home, and now we're married.
Yes.
And so that was sort of what I was thinking. I'd actually researched various places that would be not too long of a drive from where we are, that would be very beautiful, and not too touristy. And then it was actually someone in your group.
Yes. So I'm in a mentorship group that does meditation, self-realization.
Yins only. Right?
Yes, yins only.
Yes.
Shout out to the Living True Mentorship, Corey and Romay. So one of the members, actually, when I told them that we were getting married, she was like, what a great opportunity for you to add that to your podcast, to live stream. And I was like, oh, okay. So I was that resonated with me, and also too, I felt like that was doable in the time frame that we had.
Yes.
To get that, and also it would include all of those people that otherwise would have had to have,
to miss it.
Either miss it, or they would have really had a hard time getting here.
Yes.
And last minute getting flights and from all over the country or across the Atlantic, or all of this. So and it just resonated with me. That was the key. Now, yes, we could have gone somewhere. I still would have felt like we should have live streamed it though.
Oh, even if we were away. Okay.
Which I think it was just easier with a little bit better control here in our beautiful backyard.
Yes, right. So, so once the live stream came up, it was an excellent idea, and it felt like not only a way for all of our family and friends to share it, but also to serve as an example. Sounds like too strong a word.
Inspiration, maybe?
An inspiration, a
new way.
Yeah, to share our way of what union and marriage means to us.
Yes.
To the public. And for those that it resonates, they can borrow from it, and otherwise, whatever, skip it. But to let our wedding ceremony serve as hey, this marriage can look like this and be centered on these values, the values that we talk about here. Right.
Yes. Which, I think that's why you and I finally decided to do it as a live stream, and to not even pre-record it, but to be okay with however that comes about.
Yeah, that part was fine print for me. Will I be okay with it?
Would you like to share with them?
So there was so we hired an officiant and a photographer, and then we also hired a film crew to set up a multi-camera setup, so 3 cameras, and to live stream the wedding for us. Normally, I would love directing something like this. It's certainly in my wheelhouse, but I could not do that while being the groom. So...
Understandable.
Yes, and so we hired a regional crew to do so, and it was pretty challenging for me at times to not put on too much of the director of a production hat.
I'm sure.
And although there were a lot of moments and things and methods of film, there were just so many little picadillos, I'll call them, that I was aware of, but I had to be I was in the show. And it was a live show, so I couldn't call cut and reset. Yes. And so there was this sort of balance between, okay, set this up as much as possible, and then, yes, surrender to it and
Mm-hmm.
let it be getting married
Mm-hmm.
and to you, and to just be with that.
Yeah.
And so there was a moment where we were waiting for the music for your song, your procession song,
Yes.
to come on. And so I'm standing there knowing that I'm on camera. And seeing, there was a moment where sound needed to be adjusted or fixed or whatever. And I knew it was just, the seconds just feel so long, but I couldn't do anything. Mm-hmm. I mean, the worst thing for me would be to
walk over there,
to come on out and be like, "Hey, come on," and then go reset up and act like I'm like totally fine. Like what the hell? So I stood and waited, and I could see you at the foot of the aisle, our aisle, and you were totally glowing and totally aligned and totally beyond that level of experience completely.
Yes.
And you looked so beautiful. And in that moment, I could see like above our house. So I was in the yard there looking at us in the house, looking at you in the house. And above our house, soaring and circling, was a bald eagle, which I thought was just such a beautiful omen and reminder to just see this from up here.
Yes.
And then, yeah, that was just one of the most, I think you can actually see there's a moment in the video where I just sort of lighten up.
Yes.
And that was part of that moment. It was seeing you and seeing that and the bird and just realizing, and then of course the music started. Right.
Yes. And then I walked in.
And then you walked in, and then the rest was fine. Once it got going, that was, the ceremony was pretty smooth from there.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the walk.
Yes.
That we took at the end. We have a path that Richard made, and I love your path. I love our path.
Yeah, it's our path.
It's our path.
Yes.
And that was just quintessential for our ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
That was the best part.
Yes. Yeah, it was an interesting choice. Well, I love the walking a path. That's exactly what what a marriage is.
Yes.
But it's kind of funny. We literally walked the exact opposite way that every other, like that traditionally in a marriage ceremony you would walk. You go walk to the altar and then you recess. You walk out, and now they're married.
Yes.
But we didn't do that. We kind of stayed on.
Yep.
Like we kind of proceeded further.
Yes.
Into this path before coming back.
Yes. Yeah. Poignant. It's exactly what we intended, I believe, to let people know that we had the intention to share with folks that we're on a path. And it is about the journey. It's not the destination.
Right.
Marriage is not the destination. I didn't just, come here to get married.
Right.
To a hot dude.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, really and truly, I think that the path is so symbolic. And it is what we're here to do.
What else about the wedding stands out to you?
I thought it was really awesome how our flames went together for the unity candle so beautifully. That was pretty awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. We did it like that. There was not even a little gust of wind or a breeze or anything, and it was like perfect.
Yes.
So yeah, that was fun. Cool. I actually felt like during before, during, and after, you absolutely could have come in, like a hurricane could have come in. It wouldn't have changed me. I felt so aligned, and not because of the circumstance, but because I knew deep down that my alignment, is what is so important for the stability of our marriage. So it was like, it's all or nothing. And I kind of felt like that when the morning when we got up, the day that we got married, I actually felt like I have to be aligned. There was nothing like I could have had runs in my hose. I could have had holes in my underwear. I could have, my dress could have, it wouldn't have mattered. I literally felt like alignment was the key. And I still believe that. And I still believe that our path is going to be smoother and more awesome and the most epic if we each maintain our alignment. And that was what I went into that day wanting to embody. And that's what you saw, that radiance that you were seeing.
Yes.
You saw it all morning, even when I was getting mic'd up and stuff. And,
yes.
And I was like, sure, unzip my dress, put it down in there. I don't care. Yeah. It was like literally there's nothing that could have happened, including a flat tire later on in the day. So it really just could not, that unshakable faith.
Yes. Yes, you embodied that beautifully. Seamlessly.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. Was there anything else about the wedding day that stands out to you?
No.
Oh, Brooke and Lisa.
Yes. Yeah, that was awesome.
Oh, love Brooke and Lisa.
Yes.
Oh, thank you guys. Oh, that was so good.
Yes. Yeah, loved them hosting.
Yes.
The live stream.
Yes. The pre and the post.
Yes.
Intro, exit. So yeah, that was great.
We got to see that before. That was pre-recorded. Yes. I thought that would be easier just to have one less possible online hurdle thing. Right. So we asked them to pre-record it. Yes. And they sent it to us and they're like, oh, we'll redo it if you want. And we're like, nope. Nope, perfect. Love it. Yep. And then, of course, our interviewing each other questions that most couples really should ask themselves. You shouldn't wait till before you get married to start asking these questions. Right. But if you're already married and you haven't done that, start asking questions. Just pick one day a week. That's what I would suggest, and maybe we can implement this if you want. Well, we've done this series of questions. We've been doing that periodically since we met. Yes. But this was kind of fun because this one was on camera. Oh, you want to keep filming that? Maybe. Those sessions? Maybe. We'll see. That's a thought. Yeah. But also maybe writing them down. Some way of remembering the interaction. And doing it as a practice for us as a team. So this is a part of our team dynamics practice. Okay, so if we record them to have a record of them, that means there will be a time to refer to them. And so what would be the intention there, or what is possible there? What would be the circumstance, or what would be the ideal way to review or revisit these videos? You have on our phones the videos from the wedding. Yes. Right? Yes. And so I probably, just on my own, would check that out in the next week or two. Why? Literally, because I like to do that. Yeah, I like to come back in and make sure where I was coming from is still alive. And make sure where I was coming from when I answered those questions or when I asked those questions, what those dynamics were, and making sure also too there's no gremlins. They were operating.
So yet again, it's all about learning about yourself and learning what can we do to make our marriage better and our team better.
Cool. So what would be the response if we reviewed one of these video clips or sessions and we saw a moment that was imbalanced or maybe gremlin operated, but it was 3 weeks ago or 2 months ago?
Right.
What do we do about that moment in the present?
So, I mean, what I would ask you is, okay, let's say it was me that had a little gremlin-y moment, and you're being real quiet, and I've noticed it about myself. And I probably would say something along the lines to you, did you notice that energy?
So
did you notice that? What is that?
So us watching it, we both see it on the screen.
Yes.
It's a pre-recorded moment from a few weeks ago or whenever.
Yeah.
And you would now ask me if I was aware of it then.
No, aware of it now.
Oh, do I now observe that?
Yes.
Observe the gremlin.
And I would maybe ask you if you were aware of it then. Because if you had been aware of it then, why didn't you say anything then?
Right. Yes. Yeah, that's one key that I can find in this exercise.
Yes, for sure. It's not necessarily looking for gremlins, but it's also like looking for good, expansive paths that you and I both, oh yeah, that was a good idea. Why don't we do that? Or something like that. Like if I see that you've said, maybe we should expand our daily meditation from 20 minutes to 30 minutes. If you said something like that, and then we kind of let it slide over the last few.
Let's just do this because I'm starting to get confused. Okay, I don't think we need to review the video because I have a specific moment in mind.
Okay.
So
hit me.
Or is the exercise that you need to see it now and see if you notice?
No, it's okay.
I'll just bring it in.
Just bring it in.
So it was you filming me and you asked me a question. And I don't quite remember which question it was. But I answered it, and then you can see in the video clip I reach towards the camera, and then the camera kind of shakes. And then I look off to the side and I go like this. And
I know what that was about.
Yes. So
my finger was in the camera.
Yes.
And you were pushing my finger away.
Yeah. So again, it was this dual being the director of this video project, although I was the subject of it in that moment, and it was about you and I as a couple. And I saw that, and it took me completely out of answering the question, and so I adjusted your finger, and then my looking off to the side was sort of yeah, I know, I fucked up, and I wasn't fully present with you. I was definitely thinking about the product. Cool. So that is an example. Okay. Now, what's your response today about that moment?
The same response that I'd had at that moment. Was my alignment doesn't matter. My alignment matters, and it's not bugged by anything you do. So in that moment, I maintained my alignment. Even though I saw the gremlin, I wasn't ignoring the gremlin. I wasn't indulging in the gremlin. What I was doing was I was maintaining my alignment. I was aware. I saw it, I felt you, and I knew exactly what it was in that moment.
Right.
And since we've seen the clip a couple times, I know exactly what you're talking about, and I know exactly what my feeling was. I was like, I don't give a fuck. And cool. But I did not know, and I appreciate your honesty in this, I did not know that you felt like you kind of shortchanged the dialogue a little bit because of your OCD about that.
Oh, I absolutely feel that way.
Yeah. See, so I didn't even notice that.
And maybe this is a yin-yang perspective. So as a yang, it's very focused. So now I'm answering the questions and I'm in it. Now I'm aware of this. And so in that moment, there's a switch from answering the question that my new wife is asking me to the video's got to look great and streamlined, and
Mm-hmm.
my own standard about the line of work that I do
Yes.
and my expertise in it, and wanting the product to reflect that expertise. It totally just.
Mm-hmm.
And then once it's fixed, once the adjustment was made, yeah, then it's like, oh, tail between my legs. Like, why did I care so much about that?
Mm-hmm.
Who cares?
Yeah.
We could have just filmed it again, or not.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even though it was early in the morning, we had a whole other day that was not making the video.
Right.
I had to get the video to the film guys. You know, there was a time crunch.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so it was pretty difficult to take all that on and provide the finished product, yet stay completely fully present and timeless in it.
Mm-hmm.
So it felt like a big fuck up. It felt like a huge fuck up that moment.
Yeah. I think you're being hard. I think you're being a little too hard on yourself. That's my personal opinion. It's okay.
Yeah.
I forgive you.
Thanks. It turned out fine.
Absolutely.
And I'd say most people wouldn't
have even noticed.
No.
It almost kind of looks like you're wiping away a hair or something.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was not that bad.
No.
But so, and this is, I think this is the beauty of our technology, that we can do stuff like this now.
Mm-hmm.
We can actually catch ourselves in the act of doing things that we think is counter to our alignment.
So you're going to start filming me every time I start?
I'm going to walk around with a camera all the time. I'm just kidding.
A new GoPro. Just nice little...
It's going to be right. What'd you have to say to me? The red light's on. Is that sure? Are you sure that's what you want to say?
Yeah.
Actually, what if we did that already? We kind of do.
People have like the pet cams and things in their house,
Yes.
and Ring, and we could totally do that. We can Big Brother our house and have a reality show.
We could. I like the Truman Show.
It'd be boring. It'd just be me and the cats.
No. And yeah, you chasing Sylvester around.
Yeah.
Yep. But
Okay,
yeah.
so that's a cool exercise. So it's to then look back, talk about the moment like we just did,
Right.
and then come find a resolution or find a next level.
Yeah. So what would be the next level for you based on what you know now?
The small stuff doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
For one. For two, I can allow a bit more grace for myself
Mm-hmm.
in the execution of a product or a project.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That one will be difficult for me. I do desire to streamline and for the outcome to be awesome. So I have
Perfectionism.
well, it's an attachment to outcome.
Yes.
Perfectionism, I guess, is a good
As
good
opposed
word.
to the journey and the fun of the creation.
Yeah, and really, in the case of creating something, it's rather than focusing on what can be transmitted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because what is transmitted or what is offered is not really dependent fully on. It's not dependent at all on the packaging.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The perfection of the packaging.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great awareness, and that's really all it is every single day. It can look boring. It can literally look boring, and then all of a sudden you're like, "Holy shit! I just learned a huge thing. I just learned a huge spiritual growth thing, and wow, how am I maturing?"
Yes.
Yeah, gremlins are insidious, and they'll show up anytime.
Mm-hmm.
My gremlin actually is probably giving you a lot of space to allow your gremlin. because I'm a
Oh.
peacemaker.
Oh. So your gremlin is letting me spin my wheels too long?
Maybe.
Well,
And looking back on the wedding day,
mm-hmm.
I was maintaining my alignment, but was I? So as the day progressed, things got a little bit hairy with the flat tire and stuff on our way to dinner and things like that. And your gremlin was going a little bit crazy.
Yes. Yeah, so I had a gremlin attack about the live stream of our wedding not being perfect.
Yes.
And in my gremlinness, I hopped the curb and popped the tire of our car. Yeah.
And I actually was maintaining alignment.
Yes.
But at what point was it not serving us? And that was my learning lesson. I think looking back on that is maybe I should have gotten pissed. Maybe I should have, because maybe it would have shocked you into stop in the story.
Right.
Because the story kept going.
Yes.
I mean, it went on and on and on.
Yes.
So maybe that was probably where I could have, because I kept on trying to intervene in a loving way, and you're like, no, that's not working. And being aligned just didn't seem, you couldn't see that. Like we were like on different levels.
Yes.
You were in a reality of Gremlin Land, and I was in this reality of this is our wedding day.
Right.
And what our perspectives were totally misaligned. So the only way I probably could have matched the gremlin was to get in Gremlin Land. And I just flat out refused, because I'm a peacekeeper. I'm a 9 Enneagram, which means I tend to keep the peace at all cost. So that was probably a gremlin conditioning when it got to that point.
Yes. Yeah, it could be. Like, what if you just told me to pull over and yelled at me to pull over?
Yeah.
Pull over.
Yeah. Let me drive. Man, that would have pissed you off. Holy shit. You would have
I think I would have listened to that. Yeah. I mean, who knows? I think I would. I think that I would listen to that. That's just a sort of a fault switch, a fail safe. Fail safe? Is that the word?
Yeah.
That is a sort of fail safe.
Fail safe.
That is a fail safe switch in my makeup. I programmed that very consciously.
Yes.
It's a rule in my life that when I'm in the car, the passengers have agreed to put their life in my hands, and when they are done, I have to honor that they're done. And so pull over, I believe that that's set enough that no matter what, I would honor that because the person agreed to be in the car with me.
Yeah.
So it's a deeply rooted thing, and I've had that since I was like 16. Like from when I started driving, I just kind of installed that into my system. Yeah. So I think I would have.
Yeah. That's good to know. See, I didn't know that. That's wonderful. And I didn't intuit that.
Well, how could you?
I know. It was, yeah. Pretty intense. But I didn't, now I wasn't going to love you any less. And that was actually what the key to that entire event was, is me not losing my cool.
Right.
Me losing my cool and going ape shit on you would not have helped.
Right.
It would not have helped.
Would have been justified.
It would have been justified. Most females would have gone ballistic. Most yins that feel like they have any self-worth would have gone ballistic.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There was something inside of me that just was like, maintain. And I do think, though, it has a little bit of a waft of a gremlin. that wants to just keep the peace.
Yes.
So I'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
Thanks for making me aware just now.
Yes. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
It does all work out perfectly. We needed new tires.
Yes, we did.
We knew we were due for a new set of tires.
Yep.
So I wasn't driving that crazy. But in seriousness, we did know that was coming.
Uh-huh.
And so
And it was actually really good because
it was perfect. Yeah, it
I would have rather have not been in a restaurant with that gremlin. So it was
Right.
perfect. So we got a Uber and went back home after the car got picked up by the
yes.
Tow truck.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really thankful that happened.
Mm-hmm.
And also it gave us an opportunity to talk about something that's
Right.
that's real shit that real people experience.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, how would a yen that is aligned approach that?
Yes.
And I can just tell you how I approached it. I think it was pretty decent. And I think what you learned through that entire scenario was pretty decent.
Yes.
Because you definitely calmed down after that.
Yes. And ownership and accountability to misalignment
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
is important.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So it's all good.
Mm-hmm.
It's all fair in love and flat tires.
Yes.
That's my new slogan.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
45 minutes.
That feels about right
Yeah.
for this one.
That's a pretty complete podcast. I think we've had some good shares
Yes.
for each other and for our listeners.
Mm-hmm. All right. So let's see. Next one, shall we talk about the move down?
Oh yeah.
And that process.
Oh yes.
Taking a vacation with.
In the middle of a moving truck coming.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Having boxes of stuff packed in our house, and then we go on vacation.
Yep.
And then come home and move.
Yes.
Stay tuned.
Yes.
All right. Thank you all. We're looking forward to this season. Do leave stuff in the comments for us. Any topics that come up that you would like us to address with each other that are common things in relationships or things coming up in your relationship. And we'll hash it out.
Yeah.
All right.
Put up your dukes.
I kind of forgot how we ended every show. I feel like there was a YouTube catchphrase thing.
Oh yeah, sharedheartjourneys.world.
Yeah, sharedheartjourneys.world.
Yep.
Yes.
For coaching.
Yep. Couples coaching.
Couples coaching.
And programs coming.
Yes.
So late spring 2023, we should have them launched.
Yes.
We are building them and fine-tuning them now.
Right.
And thank you. We'll see you next week.
Yeah.